We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone. Let's continue with the same topic, bioenergy. In previous lecture, we have discussed about floating drum type biogas plant. Okay, it's a floating drum. Now, the next is fixed dome type biogas plant. Now, the diagram shows schematically the fixed dome type biogas plant. In a fixed dome type biogas plant, the digester and the gas chamber or gas collector are combined and enclosed in the same chamber. These types of biogas plant are best suited for the batch type biogas generation. Okay, these type of plants are more economical compared to the floating drum type biogas plant, since only machinery work is required to construct the digester or whole plant. Okay, now the digester is usually built below the ground level, particularly for the applications in regions having the cold or very cold climate. Right? The gas pressure inside the dome varies depending upon the rate of gas production and its consumption. However, the total volume of gas inside the dome remains constant, due to which this type of biogas plant also called as the constant volume type biogas plant. Right. Now, many variations of fixed dome type biogas plants are developed by various countries. Fine. In this slide, a very simple fixed dome type biogas plant is shown schematically. This type of biogas plant is also known as Ajanta model or even Chinese model or Chinese biogas plant. Right. The mixture of biomass and water is supplied as a feed to the digester through inlet pipe. Similar to floating drum type biogas plant, this biogas plant also consists of mixing tank and inlet chamber, similarly the outlet chamber plus overhead or overflow tank. Fine. So the mixture of biomass and water is supplied as a feed to the digester through the inlet pipe. Now the mixture is steered sometimes. If we use agri crops or agro residues, then we need to provide a stirrer or agitator to the digester. Fine. It might be we might be use either some stirring action, but still, if we use some agro residues, then and then this stirrer is needed. Otherwise, no need to provide agitation or stirring action. Fine. Now, the biogas generated in the digester tank by the anaerobic digestion is collected in the upper part of the digester. As I told you, a stirrer or agitator might be required if we use agro residues. Otherwise, no need to provide agitation or agitator. Right? Now, the biogas to produce is delivered through the outlet gas pipe, which is provided above the dome. Look at here, VNS, and this is outlet biogas plant. Or we collect or we get biogas through these pipes. Now, when the gas is produced, the liquid level in the digester drops, whereas level in the displacement tank rises. The level inside the digester, due to pressure created by the biogas, the level inside the digester decreases, and consequently, the level of waste manure increases in the outlet chamber, and finally, it is collected to the overflow tank. and we can manually remove it. Fine. So the height difference between two level helps in regulating the pressure of gas within the digester. Now the gas pressure obtained may be as high as 0.1 bar above the atmosphere. Fine. Now since these plants are constructed underground, the temperature of operation remains unaffected by the environment, and hence these plants are suitable for winter operation. Now a manhole cover sealed by a clay is provided at the top of digester. A manhole is provided at the top of the digester and it might be sealed by clay. Fine. And this manhole cover or simply manhole is provided to the digester for the purpose of its maintenance. So that maintenance person can enter into the digester for the maintenance purpose. Fine. So this type of again construction is also provided to the digester for the effective maintenance. Okay. Now one of the most important topic, that is factor affecting the biogas generation. Fine. So various factors are listed here which directly indirectly affect the biogas production. Let's discuss one by one. So first is temperature and pressure. The process of anaerobic fermentation or digestion and the methane forming bacteria works based in the temperature range of 25 degrees centigrade to some 55 degrees centigrade and the pressure of about some 1.1 to 1.2 bar or slightly above the atmospheric pressure. Fine. The rate of gas production increases with increasing in temperature, but the percentage of methane reduces. Fine. It is found that the temperature 35 degrees centigrade to some 38 degrees centigrade are best suited for the methane production. If the temperatures are lower than the 20 degrees centigrade, mind well, if the temperatures are lower than the 20 degrees centigrade, just like in case of cold countries, especially in winter, where the temperature falls below 20 degrees centigrade. Fine. So if the temperature is lower than 20 degrees centigrade, then the rate of gas production falls sharply and it almost ceases at about 10 degrees centigrade. Fine. So it should be more than 20 degrees centigrade temperature. Then and then we can get a good amount of biogas in quantity as well as quality. Thus, in cold climates, it is necessary to heat the digester of about 35 degrees centigrade. So we need to provide some heating mechanism so that biogas generation will be continued. Fine. Next is solid concentration, or it is also known as loading rate. Fine. The cow dung, water, and various organic residues from the agricultural waste are supplied as a feed to the digester. The proportion of this solid concentration recommended are cow dung plus solid waste. Proportion is 1:1 by weight and forming to about 10% of solid content with 90% of water. So solid concentration, that is cow dung and some agro residue or some solid waste in the proportion of 1:1 by weight. Fine. And we have to provide 90% of water into it for making of slurry. Fine. Now the amount of feed supply per day to the digester is called loading rate. How much quantity of this slurry we provide to the digester per day is known as loading rate. Now it is depend on the size of plant. The recommended loading rate is about 0.2 kg per meter cube of digester capacity. It is recommended. The underloading and overloading of this rate reduces the biogas production. So we have to provide optimum value of, or we have to maintain optimum value of this loading rate. So underloading as well as overloading may affect the biogas production. So we have to keep in our mind about this loading rate. The loading of the feed must be carried out every day at the same time so as to keep the salt concentration ratio constant in the digester. Fine. We have to maintain loading rate plus time. Every day we have to feed the digester probably around same time. Fine. Next is retention period. Now it presents the time period for which the fermentable material remains inside the digester. This period ranges from some 35 days to some 50 days, but it depends on the climatic conditions and the location of the digester. The longer the retention period needs larger size digester, and it allows more complete digestion of feed. Fine. Moreover, the retention period is also depend on the feed, right? Which type of waste that you are going to use. It again, retention period is also depend on that. Fine. Now, next is pH value, or we can say hydrogen ion concentration. So pH value indicates the degree of acidity or alkalinity of a solution. The pH value is represented as the logarithm of the reciprocal of hydrogen ion concentration in gram equivalent per liter of solution. Fine. So the pH value in the range of 0 to 7, let's say pH value in the range of 0 to 7 represents acid solution, and in the range of 7 to 14 indicates the alkaline solution. Now in the initial stage of the acid formation, fine, in the initial stage of acid forming stage of digestion, the pH value may be around 6 or even less. Fine. However, during the methane formation stage, the pH value must be higher than 7, and we have to maintain these higher value of pH during the methane formation stage. Fine. Because methane formers are very sensitive to acidity. That's why we need to maintain pH value during the methane formation stage. Right. So in the initial stage, it is less than 6, and in the final stage, it is more than or higher than 7. So for the above reasons, the optimum pH value of digester solution ranges between 7 to 8, and it is recommended. It is desirable. We have to maintain it 7 to 8 or more than 7. Fine. Now, nutrient composition or nutrient concentration. It is also known as nutrients concentration. Fine. Now, the major nutrients required by the bacteria in the digester are nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Now, these elements are desirable to accelerate the anaerobic digestion rate. Thus, it is necessary that the major nutrients are supplied in the correct chemical form as well as concentration. Fine. The carbon in carbohydrates supplies the energy, and the nitrogen in the proteins is needed for the building of growth of the bacteria, simply growth of the bacteria. Carbon to nitrogen ratio need to be supplied in the ratio of 30 to 1. Fine, mind well. carbon to nitrogen ratio, C2N ratio, need to be supplied in the ratio of 30:1 with 2% of phosphorus for the maximum biological activity. We have to provide 2%, approximately 2% of phosphorus for the maximum biological activity. Thus, for acceleration, fermentation, and the production of biogas for the biogas, nutrients like carbon, phosphorus, nitrogen are required. Fine. So oil cakes and animal urine are found to be suitable nutrients for this purpose. Fine. So sometimes with feed or feed material, we need to feed or we need to add some quantity of oil cakes as well as animal urine. Okay. Now next is toxic substances or toxic substance. The presence of ammonia, pesticides, detergents, heavy metals are considered as the toxic substance to microorganisms since their presence reduces the fermentation rate. Fine. And also the digestive slurry, if allowed to remain in the digester beyond a certain time, it becomes toxic to the microorganism. So we need to remove the waste digested slurry from the digester because that slurry itself become a toxic substance. It becomes a toxic for the microorganism or bacteria. Fine. So we need to remove it periodically. Now next is digester size and shape. Now it is found that the biogas production per unit volume of digester is high when its diameter to depth ratio ranges between 0.66 to 1. So size and shape, generally the shape is cylindrical. Digester is of cylindrical shape. And the size, for that diameter to depth or height ratio, we have to maintain between 0.66 to 1. So D by H ratio, that is D by H, diameter to height ratio. So D by H ratio is about or is ranges between 0.66 to 1. Now the final factor, that is agitation. As I told you, it depends on the feed material. If we use the agro residues, then some stirrer or stirring action is required or digester is, we have to provide it. Otherwise, no need to provide that mixing action or stirring action. Now, since the bacteria in the digester head has a very limited reach to their food, so it is necessary that the slurry is properly mixed and the bacteria get their food supply. So slurry is prepared in a mixing tank. Fine. So in a mixing tank, the solid concentration and water concentration must be maintained. That is 90% of water and 10% of solid concentration. And after proper mixing of or making slurry, we need to feed it. Fine. So that the bacteria can get their food. Fine. But it is found that in some occasion, we have to provide some stirrer or stirring action to the digester. And it is provided at the top of the digester so that effective mixing of this slurry into the digestion chamber possible. Fine. So we have to provide some stirring action or agitator so that proper mixing of this slurry takes place so that the microorganism or bacteria can easily reach to their food supply. Fine. And this type of stirring action or agitation helps in improving the fermentation process. But it again, it depends on the feed material. If we use more quantity of agro residues, fine, more quantity of agro residues as a solid concentration, then we need to provide some stirrer mechanism. Fine. Instead of that, if we use a less quantity of that agro residue and larger portion of animal dung, please use as a solid concentration or as a solid feedstock. Fine. And then we prepare slurry. Then in that case, no need to provide stirring action or agitation. Fine. So I stop my lecture here. We will meet you in the next lecture with same topic, bioenergy, but the topic might be gasification. Okay. Bye bye.